It is deceptive.
Yeah.
You know, a bit like a woman that's full of maggots.
Hey, what's up, you guys? I'm back, and I'm back with
Sean.
who's been on my channel before. If you haven't seen the video that we did, you should definitely check it out. I'll leave a link down in the description. But Sean, why are you here today?
I'm here today as a slight crossover episode to bring a new wave to Daniel's channel. What we're going to be doing today is we're going to be giving a full review of a beer picked up in... Oh, where did I buy that again?
Let's go.
No.
Centra?
Fresh, that's what it was. Yes, in crossover with my personal podcast, Piss or Vinegar, where we review the cheapest beers and wines possible, and in keeping with Daniel's theme of New Year's resolutions and mine that I won't drink, we're reviewing non-alcoholic beer today. 4 years ago, this podcast was set up, Piss or Vinegar, and it's recently made its triumphant return to the electric airwaves, I suppose. And the idea of Piss or Vinegar is very simple. We aim to provide guidance for what you should bring to your next pre-drinking adventure. Say you've got an hour to go before you have to go to your One Direction concert, whatever those kids do. These they're big, right?
One Direction is not even together anymore.
They broke up.
Yes,
okay.
over a year ago.
Well, whatever people listen to now. Say you've only got an hour to go to that, or you're heading to, Coppers, or whatever the case may be, and you rush into an off license, and you have to make a split-second decision as to what you're going to buy. You grab something for yourself, usually the cheapest, and usually the prettiest thing you can find, and then take it home. Well, worry no longer, because the role of Piss or Vinegar is we go to the off license for you, we pick the cheapest crap we can, and we review it, so next time you go in, you can base your taste off our recommendations, and hopefully be able to down it quick enough to get to see your Zayn Malik's, etc. He's a member. He's a member.
Yeah.
He was a member.
Was he the one you found most attractive?
No, that was the guy with the dark hair. It was curly.
Harry Styles?
Harry Styles, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a different video though.
That one will be up next month.
Yes, exactly. So, Piss or Vinegar aims to provide guidance on what you should bring to your pre-drinks. Now, I'm sure that the people are thinking the same thing you thought. Why the hell is it called Piss or Vinegar? Well, therein lies the rub. Piss or Vinegar is our rating system. Piss being positive and vinegar being negative. Why is that? Well, because we figured that in common drinking parlance, something like Foster's or Tuborg, like it's piss, but you'll drink it. However, if you describe wine as being vinegar, you won't touch it. So that's the name. It was given to us by a man in a restaurant. We didn't pick it ourselves.
Fair enough.
So, I suppose down to the review then. So Daniel, why don't you tell them what we are reviewing today? It's Aus Bayern from Bavaria, Germany.
Fine. Well, Germans tend to do good beers, right?
Yeah, they do good alcoholic beers.
Oh, okay, right.
I'll admit I'm biased in this one already because it's alcohol-free beer and I'm just kind of bitter about the fact I can't actually drink.
But it's got reduced calories and it's vitamin rich.
Oh,
And
great.
it's isotonic. So hey, if you're going on a night out where you plan to have zero fun whatsoever, this is the beer for you.
Nothing better than an isotonic night out.
Yeah.
Now, one of the first things we always do is review the bottle itself, because again, imagine you're in that mind space. You rush into an off license, you have to buy something quickly, you're going to go to something that is pretty, because we're guessing that Dublin isn't full of young sommeliers running around the place picking wines based on country. So if you saw this in a shop, on a shelf, ignore the fact that it's non-alcoholic. Would you go near it, and why?
Well, yeah, okay, here's the thing, and here's my big criticism. First criticism, off the top.
You don't drink beer.
Straight away. No, I do drink beer. I do drink beer. I'll do. If I'm going on a budget, I'll drink beer. But, yeah, I'm coming over to this because, look, it's blue. I know some beers are blue, but, like, it's a kind of blue that, like, would draw your attention if you can, like, see. Like, it's a nice blue, so I would go over it. And the thing is, I'd get really pissed off because I'd buy this because it's cheap, and then I'd look at the bottle and see that it's alcohol free, and then my night would be ruined.
That's actually quite true. So
Pay attention to the labels, kids.
Yeah, so really, I actually tend to agree with you, because it doesn't look like a non-alcoholic beer.
Right.
You have to really look closely to see that it isn't.
And it's not even in English.
No, alcohol-frei, as the Germans would say.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I'm giving it a negative on the appearance, simply because although it looks pretty, it is deceptive.
Yeah.
A bit like a woman that's full of maggots. Would you like to hand me the bottle opener?
So you can struggle on camera?
So I can struggle on camera to open a bottle.
Absolutely.
Now, if I had a decent bottle opener, this wouldn't be so difficult.
It's from the Law Sock in UCD.
Oh, great. It's from the Law Sock in UCD. I'm actually getting better at this. If I had to drink the whole thing, you'd drink the whole thing. Could you pass me a glass, please, darling?
It's non-alcoholic. I think it'll be alright.
It's just about the fact that I'm about to drink a full bottle of barley water.
Look, hello, it's got vitamins.
Stop trying to sell it. No, okay, I'm being biased here. I'll be an impartial judge. I'm sure it tastes delicious. So, first things first now, young Daniel.
I have to pour it a certain way.
Well, tilt your glass sideways. You don't want too much of a head on.
How much of a degree of an angle?
I think we're looking at roughly 55, 60.
Get your rulers out.
Slow pour. You don't want too much of a head. Although it's funny because
Hey, speak for yourself.
it's funny actually because in Germany they actually get quite pissy if you don't give a large head on the beer. Oh, grow up. Whereas over here we feel quite cheated. There, if you don't get a large Staub as they would call it, and they get quite irritated. So yeah, you did a better job than I did actually.
Yep.
So first thing that we're looking at here is reviewing it based on its appearance. Okay.
It looks
so
like
hold up
this.
to the light, look to the glass, and tell me what you think.
It's very cloudy.
It is very cloudy.
It looks like I've been very dehydrated and I just pissed into that glass.
How aesthetically pleasing would you rate it? Not at all, it seems. I'd be a fan of this because it looks like your classic kind of cloudy German wheat beers. And as well as that, considering that it is a non-alcoholic beer, it's doing a very good job of looking like actual beer. Once one gets past the look of the beer, then we're going into the scent, the smell. So what kind of nodes are you getting from it, Daniel? Now, there's a key to it, okay?
Nothing.
In through the nose.
Nothing.
Then in through the nose and the mouth.
I'd have to inhale the actual drink to smell something.
Okay, let me... Yeah, you're... Actually, no, you're not. I've got some on my nose though. Can you not get that? It's... For want of a better term, it smells of wet grass, wet barley. It doesn't smell like actual beer at all. It just smells like barley
let's
water.
begin by saying that it barely smells like anything.
What?
It barely smells like anything.
Oh no, can you not? I've got a bigger nose than you, so maybe that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it smells atrocious. Wet grass with a hint of body odor.
Don't be mean, alright? It smells fine, it just doesn't smell very strong, which is not necessarily a bad thing.
If you can actually smell it, it smells atrocious. And as well as that, I still hate this because it's not alcoholic.
You chose it. You chose.
I chose it
to
because
do dry January.
because I watched your video, Daniel, and I got inspired to attain my goals.
Shut
To
the
do
fuck up.
do a New
I
Year's
posted that
resolution.
video last week. Shut the fuck up.
Sorry. Now onto the main thing,
Event, yeah.
the actual tasting. Okay, so
I don't have high hopes.
nor I. Now
It's got vitamins,
remember, the reason we were drinking from the glass is you want to get a bit of air in your mouth before you taste it, just to make sure that you can get all of the flavors running through it. Hold it in your mouth for a moment, let it warm against the palate, and then swallow and exhale.
Do you think students in college do this?
No, I don't. But that's our
That's
job.
what we do.
We're doing it for them, so
Okay.
that we can then recommend what would be best for them.
How much air do I need in my mouth?
Just a slight inhale. Just if you could do that, that'd be great. Don't choke yourself, but you know something along the
That would be a one way to go.
If you just coughed
Dying
it.
because you choked on non-alcoholic.
That's worse than nuclear winter, I think. 1, 2, 3.
You know I don't like Germans. I'm Polish.
Well, young apprentice, thoughts?
Do you know what? It doesn't taste very different to alcoholic beer.
Really?
I told you I don't drink a lot of beer.
Okay, fine.
If I was slightly tipsy or slightly drunk, if you gave this to me, I wouldn't have a clue that it's non-alcoholic.
Okay, I get that. So, if your senses were numbed, you wouldn't realize it wasn't alcoholic. That's like I've been drunk enough that I actually drank mouthwash, so you don't. That doesn't mean much.
Not only are you getting the taste of alcohol, you're getting nutrition.
True, I'm getting all those isotonics, whatever the
Vitamins,
fuck.
reduced calories.
Yeah, it's been several years since I've drank this stuff. The last time I drank this particular beer was when I went alcohol-free for a month, as a bet with the same person. From what I can remember...
I mean, you should remember a lot. You didn't drink.
You'd think that, actually, but the opposite happens. You forget everything, because everything's so fucking boring that one day bleeds into the next.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Not even a port after dinner, you know, it's not a life worth living.
What, are you 50?
Look at how I'm dressed. Look at this mustache. In terms of flavours then, what are we picking up? Well, It is what?
Beer.
Beer. You're good. You could guest on the show.
I know. I could host it.
It is rather sweet. It's
For
got
a beer, yeah.
For a beer, yeah. It's got a sort of a, because it's obviously heavily malted. It has a kind of aftertaste of, cordial or something like that. It doesn't taste that terrible, but I hate it because it's a good thing, or a bad thing pretending to be a good thing.
Yep.
This is like playing past the parcel at a childhood birthday party, and then you open the box at the end, and
it's raisins.
I was going to say your dead cat, but raisins works too. Those two together, particularly bad combination. But and I was a weird kid. I actually liked raisins.
No, I like raisins also, but most people seem to dislike raisins for some reason. Aaron, do you like raisins? I do. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so some genuine raisin love in the room. Anyway,
we're company.
The final part of the rating system then is the overall, the piss or vinegar. So based on the feel in the mouth, the taste, the scent, the visuals, belching while I'm talking, what would you give it? Piss, positive, vinegar, negative?
Let me build up to it. So, the first thing was packaging. We gave it negative.
Negative.
Solely because it tricks you into thinking that it's alcohol. It's not alcohol. 2 was the scent, right? Oh no, presentation. You're forgetting your own thing. It was presentation. Hello?
Oh, sorry.
Wake up. Presentation. We gave it positive. Well, I gave it positive. I'm talking about myself now.
Yeah.
3 was smell. And smells like nothing. But hey, it could have smelled like shit, so I'm gonna count that as a positive. Then 4 was taste. Like I said, to me, it tasted pretty much almost like beer. So I give it a positive. So altogether, it's shit because it is alcohol free.
Nice.
It exists, so it must have a purpose. And I mean, if you're the designated driver for the night, but you don't want to miss out on the amazing taste of beer.
I don't know, Leo Bradford exists and he doesn't have much of a purpose, man. In terms of bottle aesthetic, it was a negative. In terms of visually, I must say quite appealing. I'll give it that. It looks like a frothy, cloudy, wheaty German beer. The kind you get in a large stein at Oktoberfest. But it's not that, because it's not beer.
Come back to it.
Yeah,
come back.
Then scent, atrocious. Beer has a smell that some would consider not particularly nice, but this smell, can you not even get it now now that the head's out of the way?
Nope. Is my glass okay? Maybe it's just my glass.
Oh, I can smell it from yours as well. It's just wet socks and disappointment. You said it tastes like beer. It doesn't really, because beer doesn't have that kind of sweetness at the end. It does go rather pallid and flat.
It tastes kind of like beer that's gone flat.
Yeah. And nobody likes that. So when you take into account, it lies about what it is, it smells bad, it tastes not like what you want. And
but it tastes okay. Not like okay.
It tastes okay, but if I gave you like a full pint of beer right now and said drink that, would you finish it and say, that was okay? You'd say, no, thanks for the pint, man. My rating for this is a full and unequivocal vinegar. Avoid at all costs, even if it's for New Year's resolutions. It's not just a wine review show. Wine review is the first half of the show. The second half is the cultural segment, where we go through mainly all things cinema, but occasionally we go through music as well. We've done a rundown of the career of Kate Bush and the works of Stanley Kubrick, and then look at David Lynch's Twin Peaks. If being on this show gets piss or vinegar more homosexual viewers, that's absolutely fine. I'm more than okay with that. And I'll leave my personal Facebook page and Snapchat in the description as well.
Are you looking for condoms?
You said that, I didn't say that.
If you're single and a man, it's kind of a vital part.
Yeah, I suppose. Well, not necessarily. Well, different story, yeah. We'll move on.
Are you bisexual now?
No, I'm not, but I've tried it a couple of times. It's fine.
Brave women, apply within. Give us a fact about Kate Bush.
A fact about Kate Bush.
First of all, I mean, explain who Kate Bush is, because...
Surely people know Wuthering Heights and Hounds of Love and... No? I suppose I found out this evening that One Direction broke up.
We're all in our 20s. You're somewhere in the 60s.
Okay.
Backtrack for us, please.
So Kate Bush is, but she's kind of semi-retired, a prog rock artist from Britain, Surrey I believe, who hit her peak in her teenage years in the 70s and then into the 80s as well. She retired in the late 80s, 90s to raise her children, but is known for really pushing the boundaries of what British rock could do. Most famous for her songs including Babushka and Wuthering Heights, a song based on the perspective of Catherine Earnshaw from Charlotte Bronte's Wuthering Heights, book of the same name. Or was it Emily Bronte? Sorry, I'm getting my Bronte sisters mixed up. I know, right? But is one of the most fantastic female musicians who has ever drawn breath. And one of the greatest crimes, I would argue, of modern music is that she has yet to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Because what she did for music in Britain, the music scene, the boundaries she broke. I mean, people like Bowie took influence from her. Most modern female singers in the kind of alt bint, be it everyone from Lily Allen to Imelda May, have all taken huge influence from her. Imelda May.
I heard something there.
Do you think she looks very like your woman from The Pretenders now?
I said I heard something there. I didn't say I saw her.
Oh,
I
sorry.
don't know what she looks like.
The media machine that existed in the early 2000s, we forget how many young women were utterly destroyed by the interest we took in the
I don't know
it's still
where.
It still happens today. I'm not denying that, but we had a run of them. Like you had Britney Spears and Lindsay Lohan, Amanda Bynes.
You know who survived? Hilary Duff. She just went off and did her own thing, and I believe she's like got married and like has kids and everything.
She disappeared into the Bermuda Triangle or something like that. I haven't heard about her in years.
I mean, she's still around. She's just not around.
Are you sure? Have you seen her lately? The Olsen twins got out.
Do you know what was
after New York Minute? They were out of it.
And good.
And good.
I mean, out of where?
Out of the
spotlight.
The spotlight.
Yeah, good. Good for them. Do your own thing. Same with like the Sprouse twins. They left Disney Channel and then like went to university. One of them went to university.
The other one started posting nudes online, I believe.
Look.
Which one was that?
You won't catch me complaining. That was.
No, not me either.
Dylan, I believe.
Dylan, yeah.
Cole went off, grew his hair out longer.
I like him. He is
really
fucking mental. And by the way, is this what you think passes for culture? Because I can confirm to you that none of this would make it on the culture review part of Piss or Vinegar.
Listen, you came unprepared, so I have to.
I can't
do with something.
I bought the beer. I came prepared. The non-alcoholic.
Yeah.
Actually, a Greek myth.
Okay, go
on. It's the Greek origin of swans. Listen, the birds.
Sounds for everything.
It is. How dare you? So, back in ancient Greece, Helios was the god of the sun. And so every day he would ride in a flaming chariot across the sky, and that would be how the sun rose and set. Alright? Now, Helios had a son, Phaeton. And one day Phaeton was hanging around with his friends, and he started bragging about the fact that he was the child of the sun god. And of course, none of them believed him. So he said, Dad, do you mind if I ride the flaming carriage across the sky for a day, and then everyone will realise that I am the son of the sun god? And the dad was like, I don't think that's a good idea, but sure, go ahead. So Helios gets on Phaeton gets on the chariot and starts tearing across the sky, but he's not as strong as his father. So as he's going across, he begins to lose control, and the chariot spins and begins to descend down to earth. Zeus, seeing what's going to happen, realizes that the sun crashing into the earth is going to blow everything up. So he takes a lightning bolt out of his pocket and throws it and strikes the chariot, and Phaeton comes crashing down into a river and dies.
Idiot.
Phaeton's lover was a king in the area, because it wouldn't be a Greek myth without homosexuality.
Of course not.
And when the king saw what happened, he ran to the riverside and looked down at the wreckage of the chariot and the corpse of his once this. Yeah.
I just read it, but yeah.
And so overcome with grief was he, that he could not move nor speak. All he did was sat by the river and grieved for his lover for years and years and years, and eventually the gods took some pity on him and said, okay, in order to relieve his human suffering, we'll transform him into an animal. So they turned him into a swan. And unfortunately that didn't help the situation, and he just sat there by the edge of the river, grieving, head bowed, quietly, for years and years and years, and then eventually
I mean, how pissed would you be? Hello, I'm here, a human, fully functioning human. I can breathe, I can eat, I can do anything I want. Yes, I'm breathing, but hello, I'm here. And then suddenly I'm a fucking swan.
Well, the point was they thought that the swan didn't be able to feel the kind of depth of emotion that the human did, but he didn't.
They're gods, they're supposed to know this shit.
Oh, not Greek gods.
Oh.
No, Greek gods are very, very different. Greek gods represent the worst in humanity. They're mean and capricious and awful and selfish, and they like to punish others. And the reason they are that way is because the Greeks realized that if there were to be gods, they would have to be cruel and unusual and callous in order to exist. And that's why you have that kind of round table of gods that are in charge of everything. But yeah, so they turned him into a swan, and as he got older, he went from sort of small and ugly and grey to tall and white, and his head was bowed, and he remained completely mute. And then after so many centuries, eventually his poor heart gave out. But just before he died, he stepped out from the riverbank and sang the most beautiful song ever heard, and then collapsed dead. And that's why, to give one final great performance before you retire, is called a swan song. Now you tell me that wasn't culture.
Greek gods, comment off in a few weeks' time on the channel. Which one?
Yeah, we'll do the full Greek mythology.
We'll incorporate a whole thing about it. Have you heard about the Logan Paul thing? Okay.
He's the guy that wears the stupid Pikachu hat.
Yeah. You saw the Suicide Forest thing.
I did. Well, I didn't watch the actual Logan Paul video because
no.
I don't want to see that kind of thing.
Trash.
But yeah, utterly repugnant and atrocious human being who would, deliberately go into a forest like that, film it, and then use the death of someone else in order to get some views. It's
and then pretend that you're doing it to like raise awareness.
Yeah, nice.
When you're wearing a fucking Yoda hat.
Yeah.
And laughing.
Now, if you wanted to really get rid of the controversy, you should come out as gay at the end. It always works. Ask Kevin Spacey.
Before we go into anything that is problematic and we say things that we don't want out on the internet, thank you for watching this review with us.
Yes, thank you.
And I hope that your life is different now. Better, now that you know not to drink an alcohol-free beer.
Yes, absolutely. All we do is try and provide the guidance and hope people will follow it. And remember, you can tune in once a month to find a new episode of Piss or Vinegar if ever you're stuck for what to drink when you're going out, or if you fancy a Greek myth or two and a bit of Kate Bush.
Well, I'm sure you'll see Sean again.
Yeah,
basically.
Probably.
So
can't get rid of him.
You like it, you date it. Sorry. Bye.